based on the high probability module and the sign language that we have introduced in the high probability module, we have made a probability indicator which will tell you the probability percentage if something is a low probability or high probability, an instrument or a pair, based on the sign language that the indicator identifies. Now, diving into the specifics of the indicator, how you want to use it and how to access it as well, we'll dive into that. But first, I need to set your expectations correctly, especially when it comes to an indicator right here. So either you are, number one, right there, an experienced trader, or you are a beginning trader right there. But the difference between that, I would argue, is if you already have a good idea of high probability conditions and low probability conditions, then you are an experienced trader. If you don't, you are more of a beginning trader right there. For someone like an experienced trader, it is more so a time saver. So the indicator purely serves as a time saver. Meaning, if you are a filtering process trader right here, and you go over the indices, Forex majors, the metals, you go over the crosses right there, then the indicator might already tell you that something like Euro CHF right there is simply said not high probability, very low probability even. So when that's the case, you can already move on quite swiftly. And that is important, that it serves as a time saver, but not as a replacement of you. That's very important. And that is, for a beginning trader especially, the indicator right here, you need to have your expectations correctly. There's a reason why we first create a high probability module, the videos itself explaining how the sign language works, high probability conditions, etc. And after that, introduce an indicator like this. Because the indicator is not a replacement of you. You still need to understand the sign language yourself and high probability conditions yourself. The indicator won't all of a sudden make you a profitable trader. That's not how this works. It's all still down to you. But we have made this indicator as well because what we noticed, the most difficult thing that traders, when they come into the MMT, struggle with is finding high probability conditions and spotting and avoiding low probability conditions. So we have made this indicator as well to shorten that learning curve, meaning that you will learn faster to spot high probability conditions and low probability conditions. You will become better at it in a shorter amount of time, making you self-sufficient in a shorter amount of time as well. That's important to understand. That's the thought process behind the indicator. But it won't replace you as a trader. So for example, a beginning trader, they might not know and might not understand at first what they need to pay attention to. So the indicator tells you, hey, we spotted this sign. That is a bearish sign right there. That's what the indicator spotted. Hey, okay, I start to see those signs as well a little bit more right now. Then eventually, the indicator for you can also serve as a time saver. But again, not as a replacement. Because if you don't understand high probability conditions and low probability conditions yourself, then still it will be very difficult to be profitable. That's important to understand. That's why you need to understand all the videos before this indicator video as well. And I understand it's just there to shorten the learning curve. Okay, now I've emphasized on that enough, I believe. Let's dive into how to access it and how we can use it. First of all, you can access it as the following. In the Discord, and you are in the Discord because you are in the masterclass as well, then in any chat, whether that's the suggestions chat right there, the normal general chat, whatever it may be, any channel, you can simply do /set name right there. And you click on it right there and you can set the name of your TradingView name. So if you're not sure what your TradingView name is, right here in TradingView itself, if you go to the top left right there, you will see the profile. Here it says Arjo MMT for me. So that is my TradingView name. That name is what you want to insert right here. So for me, it's Arjo MMT. It will show you this message. It will also give you a private message on Discord. If you have your messages turned off like I have, you won't receive that. But right here, it says you have now received access to the indicator. Okay, so if we now go back to TradingView right here, you will notice I now have a notification right there saying I've gained access right there to the script and to the indicator as well. Now, if you are on the website, then you want to refresh the page. So if you're on the website of TradingView, you want to refresh the page and you are able to access the indicator. For example, right now, I can't access the indicator just yet. Oh, well, I actually can right there. But if this lock right there is red for you and not green and you're not able to access it immediately, you want to close the app right here and you want to start TradingView again, and you will have access. Now, right here, let's start it. If you go to indicators, you also notice now an invite only screen has popped up. You can favorite right there if you want to as well. And if we click on it, it will start loading. Once loaded, we will see something like this in the top right there. We will see sign language. We will have the percentage, if it's bullish, if it's a consolidation, whatever the probability may be right there. And we will have monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour right there. And we will have the arguments as well. This indicator does not go below the 1 hour time frame. In my opinion, you also don't need to be below the 1 hour time frame. So for example, if I go into the 50-minute, then the furthest the indicator goes right there is 1 hour arguments. So 1 hour arguments and above, that's what the percentage right there is based on. Now, if you want to exit the indicator, you can either double click right here on the indicator itself. Then we will have a dark mode. So if you use TradingView dark mode, I would highly advise to click that because it changes right there, the colors a little bit. It's quite hard to view in dark mode if you don't have that on. You can change the table format right here. Currently it's on default, which I prefer that. But again, that's because I'm on desktop right here. If you want to use 2-column right here, if, for example, you're on your phone, it's easier to view right there. And if you're on your phone as well, you can also use a list right here. If you want to, there it is. Also, if you're on your phone, you can use that because otherwise it's quite difficult to view it properly. Now, I'm going to put it back on default. There's quite a lot of things right here that you can also change. There's certain values that we have. There's certain time frame values that we have. That's the point system that we have created. Especially in the beginning, unless you're already very experienced, you understand the high probability arguments very well, etc., I would not touch this. So just keep it as it is right there. If you do touch it, you can always go here and reset settings right there as well, or you can remove it completely, add it again to your indicator as well. Show probability percentage right there, show text probability. You can customize a few things if you want to. So the style right there, if you want to, you can customize a few things. Now, going into the specifics and what it's based on. So here we already see a few arguments that we're dealing with. Let's go back to the 4-hour time frame and wait until it's loaded right there. Perfect. We see currently it's 51.2% bullish. So based on that percentage, we have determined it to be a consolidation. Currently, it's showing for me that fair value gap, a red box. I don't like that. I want to turn it off as well. So boxes, lines, whatever it may be. The tables, of course, I'll leave on. Boxes and lines, I want to turn it off. I want to see my own fair value gaps right there. Now, we have a monthly argument of a swing low 2-candle rejection right there, respected. We also have a monthly argument of bearish fair value gap in the making, swing low 2-candle rejection being respected. At this moment in time, whilst I'm recording this, it's 28th of October. It might not show all the arguments absolutely in perfect condition. So you might already say, well, that 2-candle rejection respected on the monthly time frame, that's not relevant anymore. Or swing low disrespected right here, that's not relevant anymore. That's why it's still important to understand the human has the last saying. So it's the human that needs to confirm whatever the indicator is showing right there. But if I go into the dollar right here and I already see right currently at the moment in time, it's 50% bullish right there. And that means at this moment in time, it's simply low probability and we don't want to take a look at it right there. That's very important. And that's the time saver. So we also have a bullish fair value gap in the making, bullish fair value gap created, bearish fair value gap 2-candle rejection respected, bullish fair value gap 2-candle rejection respected as well. Those are bullish, bearish arguments, and we have neutral arguments right there. Neutral arguments are not awarded certain points. Bullish and bearish arguments are awarded points based on the importance that they have. So for example, a bullish fair value gap 2-candle rejection respected, that's the most amount of points. Why? Because we get a bullish fair value gap, but not only do we get a bullish fair value gap, it's also 2-candle rejection respecting. So think of it like an extra confirmation. You have a fair value gap in that direction, and it's also getting respected with 2-candle rejection. That's a higher probability than just a bullish fair value gap created or bullish fair value gap in the making. So based on that, we have certain points awarded to those certain timeframes. And based on that, you calculate the points and you see right there, you get a percentage. Now, if we go into different pairs, and let's just take a look what we have right here. Let's stay on the 4-hour time frame. Let's also use this on EU. What do we have on EU? And what does it show us? Again, it's important to understand, I want to have the last saying right here. That's important. But for someone that doesn't understand the sign language, they might understand a little bit better by visually seeing, okay, well, this is what we need to pay attention to right there. Perfect. And for me, if I want to see EU right here and I already see 60% bullish right there, well, I think we can do better. Let me go into AU right here. What do we have? Okay, 83.9% bearish mid probability. We have a swing low, 2 candle rejection respected. Let me see if that's correct. Let me, that's quite an old argument. So that's this argument from that swing low right there. That's quite an old argument at that moment in time. So I would argue if you take away that argument right there, that sign of that bullish in the green zone right there, this is very high probability right here to trade at this moment in time. So that's essentially how you want to be using it right there. So if we take a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar as well, what do we have right here? 58% bearish right there. Okay, that's not looking that great. So at this moment in time, AU at that moment in time is the highest probability that we can see. Now let me go into the interest list. Let me, for example, take a look at silver right here. How is it looking at silver? 60% bullish. Okay, not too bad right here. Swing high, 2 candle rejection, start respecting. Let's see. Okay, it makes sense right there. So that's not too crazy of an argument. Let's see what it wants to do right there. Overall, the probability of going higher is still in our favor right here. So there's still quite a high probability that we indeed want to continue higher right there. Now looking at something like CHFJPY, which I have been mentioning during the forecast as well. And this is why I believe it's such a powerful tool. Now, again, it's quite an early development. So if you do notice something yourself, hey, Arjo, this is a little bit off. This argument might be a little bit off. Can you check it? Feel free to let us know. We're open to any suggestion as well. But thus far, it has been very accurate with what I personally deem to be the highest probability. And if I check it with the indicator as well, the indicator also says it's high probability. So the arguments and the signs overall have been quite accurate, and that's important. So here on CHFJPY, we have determined this to be one of the highest probability pairs that we can trade throughout this week, heading into next week as well. And we see right here, this is backed up by the indicator overall as well. Now, if we take a look at something like GBP New Zealand dollar, which I've also argued to be very high probability, we see the same thing right there, extremely high probability at this moment in time. Now, again, here it says 100% bullish, and on CHFJPY, it also says 100% bullish right there. So the highest probability we can have. This is where the human comes in. So understanding, okay, well, which one is then, in my opinion, still higher probability? Well, very simply said, CHFJPY, look at the bullish arguments right there. It has. GBP New Zealand dollar has still 100% bullish, yes, but less arguments than CHFJPY has right there to continue higher overall. This is important, and this is how the indicator works. Feel free to experiment with it. Feel free to check with it a lot and try to see if you think it's helpful or not. And feel free to also let us know if you do have any suggestions, or you notice, hey, some signs are a little bit off. Why is it not showing high probability here or high probability there as well? And we will also take a look at it, of course, to improve it and make it better as well. All right, perfect. Thank you.